In this video, I'm going to share with you some home maintenance tips you should be doing this fall in order to prepare your home for winter here in Maryland. Hey everyone, so here in Maryland we have the pleasure of all four seasons, meaning it's going to get cold here this winter. Often we'll see snow and some really kind of harsh conditions. So we want to make sure that we're doing the necessary things to protect our home and our investments this fall. So fall is a great time to knock out a lot of these projects as the weather starts to cool before we get into the really cold weather. So the following is my list of tips that I send out basically every year to my client base because I want to make sure that they are taking care of their home and their investment. All right, so the first tip is to aerate, seed, and fertilize your lawn. Because we have the cooler temperatures, it's a good time to put down some seed and water it, and it's gonna grow, and it's gonna actually grow the roots that will maintain through the winter so that come spring, you'll have a nice green flush yard. Okay, second on the list is to prune back your plants and shrubs. During the winter, a lot of these bushes go dormant, and we've seen a lot of growth during the spring. So it's a good idea to trim these back. That way, when it starts to warm up and spring comes, it'll promote new growth and you'll have beautiful looking plants again. Next on the list is to drain your hoses and turn off outdoor water. Now it's not quite freezing temperatures yet, so you can hold off, but once we start to see temperatures drop under 32 degrees Fahrenheit, we want to make sure that you disconnected, drain your hose, store that away somewhere in like a shed so it doesn't freeze. And then same thing with your water, you want to turn off the inside water and then open up the hose bibs on the outside to let the water out. You don't want those pipes freezing during the winter and then bursting, or come spring you turn it on and you've got leaks. Next item is to inspect your roof for loose or missing shingles. Now the roof is one of the most important parts of the house. It keeps all the weather out of it, and if you're missing shingles or you've got leaks up there, it's gonna be a bad time, especially if you get a lot of snow and then it sits and the water is gonna start seeping in. You're gonna have to deal with that, and it's not fun to deal with those issues regardless, but especially during the winter when it's cold. Now moving down from the roof, the next thing is to clean out your gutters. So as fall comes, all the leaves will come down off the trees. If you don't have gutter guards, they're gonna go in your gutters and they're gonna clog up the drainage system to get water away from your house. Instead, the water is going to dam up, and when it freezes, it's called ice damming, and that can work its way back up into the roof and cause damage there and leaks, which you want to avoid. All right, my next tip is to seal all of your windows and doors. And I don't mean to lock them closed, but go around and make sure there's no gaps. You can use caulk and kind of fill those in or replace the weather stripping. The last thing you want is a drafty house during the winter. It's going to increase your energy bills if you're constantly fighting to keep it warm while cold air is coming in. So make sure you check those things now before it gets too cold. All right, staying outside, the next thing is to repair any driveway cracks. Now your driveway is not a cheap thing to replace, so we want to make sure that we're maintaining it. If you do have cracks, water can get into those cracks, it can freeze, and when water freezes, it expands, and that's going to cause more damage, more decay. And again, to replace your driveway, it's a lot easier to just fill in those cracks and you'll be good. All right, moving inside, the next thing is to have your furnace serviced. So whatever your heating system is, get it checked out now. You can get your local HVAC technician to come out, they'll take a look at it, they'll clean it, they'll make sure that it's operating properly and efficiently, so that this winter, you know that heat is gonna come on and you can keep your house comfortable. All right, and in addition to that, we wanna change our air filters. So air flows through your duct system, and you have a little disposable filter that is gonna be somewhere probably in a utility room, but you can pull that out and then put a new one in. If you pull it out, you see it's all black, it's all covered with stuff, you wanna replace it. And we should be replacing these depending on the type of filter you use, once every 3 months. If you just get the cheaper filters, sometimes that can allow airflow to come better, but you have to change them more often. My next tip is an important safety item, and that is to have your fireplace swept and cleaned to make sure that it's safe to operate. So obviously during winter time, nothing nicer than sitting by a nice warm fire, unless that fireplace is not safe. So make sure you get it inspected, make sure you get it cleaned, and that you don't have to worry about any sort of issues with house fires, because nobody wants to deal with that around the holidays. In addition, you also want to clean out your dryer vent and lint traps to make sure that you don't have significant buildup there, because that can also lead to fires and also the inefficiency of your equipment to operate. So make sure you get those cleaned out as well. And my last tip is to make sure that you test and or replace your smoke detectors. Even if it's just replacing the batteries, it's always important to know that you have this important safety feature in your home and that's going to work when you need it, especially during the winter months. You don't want to have a fire in your home and not have a functioning smoke detector to alert you if there's an issue. So make sure you check those out. You can test them and then replace the batteries and or replace the units every 5 to 10 years. All right guys, so that's my list. I'm going to put this on the website as well, so you can download that, keep it, check off these items as you go through it. Again, fall is a great time to perform a lot of these maintenance items to protect your home, to protect your investments, and to make sure that it's going to be safe and comfortable during the cold winter months here in Maryland. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, of course, leave a comment below. Until next time, see you again soon.